It's no secret that Rhea Ripley has undergone a evolution of her character, and it actually turns out that she credits an AEW star for that transformation. Let's take a step back. Rhea Ripley, when she first joined WWE, she was a typical blonde female athlete who was pretty solid in the ring, but really had no character. And you have to praise her for at least being able to see down the road of, okay, we had this star in Charlotte Flair. She's starting to make a name for herself. She's starting to become a top star for them. How can I stand out, right? Because Vince McMahon especially, he liked his blonde females, okay? He's done that year after year after year, or at least he did when he was still in charge before the whole Hush Money scandal went down. And Rhea Ripley noticed that. She changed her style. She went to more of a dark goth character, which has blossomed her into a fantastic career and something in which she needs to be praised about among fans. She goes to NXT. She has a successful career. Former NXT Women's Champion. She's on the main roster. 2023 breaks out, and it is the year of Rhea Ripley, right? She wins the Women's Royal Rumble match. She goes on to dethrone Charlotte Flair as the SmackDown Women's Champion at WrestleMania 39, and she's made countless title defenses since then, right? She was a major part of Monday Night Raw as part of Judgment Day alongside Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest, and really helped save that Raw's women's division throughout the year, right? And yeah, she had some notable contenders, but for the most part, it's been the Rhea Ripley show. Now, she is slated to challenge, she's slated to defend the championship against Becky Lynch when she puts the Women's World Championship on the line at WrestleMania 40. And she has acknowledged that a former WWE star who now works for AEW, well, they helped her. They helped her in this transformation. While speaking on the BWGS podcast in Australia while she was over for the Elimination Chamber PLE, where she successfully defended said Women's Championship over Nia Jax in the main event of her home country, she recalled getting a career piece of advice from Ruby Soho, who worked for WWE as Ruby Riott and is a woman who has been in the pro wrestling business much longer than Ripley has. And this is what Ripley had to say. The Rhea Ripley that we all saw in the first Mae Young Classic, I was 20. I was so young, I wanted to please everyone. I was so scared of doing anything different or anything that I thought was different. But the Rhea Ripley you see today is what I was on the inside. I didn't let that out because I felt like I had to fit a specific mold to be in WWE. It was at a time where females weren't big and bulky. They didn't have tattoos. They had all the long hair. And I'm glad for someone like, I don't know, actually give her enough credit, but Ruby Riott. She was the first one that I really looked at and I was like, wow, she's covered in tattoos. She's got short hair. She looks super cool. And I remember tagging her with her quite a few times on the coconut shows, a la NXT live events down in Florida. She continued, which are like non-televised shows. And she helped me bring that out and bring that side of me out. And that was me. And a lot of people did not like that. But I also had to sit down with myself at a specific time and I would just be like, yo, wake up, stop being fake. I hate fake people. And I was one. And I was like, just don't care about what anyone thinks of you. If they don't like you, they don't deserve to be in your life. So it was just kind of I just decided to be myself. I cut my hair short at a time. We had to get tattoos approved. I mean, you still sort of do. I just get away with it. So I wore the pants as a way to get leg sleeves. So that was my little loophole, end quote. Interesting. Now, what's more interesting is, not more, but it's also interesting, she actually credits another former WWE star who wrestles as Shane Haste, actually helped her come up with the Riptide finishing move. It's an iconic move. This is what she had to say. Shane Haste actually helped me with one of these. Another Aussie boy. I think he was one that actually found it and he showed me. He's like, we should try this. And I remember going and we had this squishy ring at the Performance Center. It was legit like a pillow. It was fantastic. I would much rather land on that than the black little mats on the floor that I used to learn on. But I remember going there and Shane and Tegan Knox and just trying to get it over and over and over and just trying to perfect it. And it come a long way, because even in NXT UK, I used it and I sit down with it and that hurts. I don't like the feeling of that on my butt, to be completely honest. And then I started doing it, going down on my knees, and my knees aren't great anyways, but it's so much better than falling on your butt over, and over again. Interesting. See, I don't think as fans, like, we realize the little aspects of bumps and how you land and where you land matters. Not only the way the finisher or the move looks, how it's performed, or the aftermath, the results of such damage to someone like Rhea Ripley or any other wrestler when they perform these types of moves. And I think that's actually very interesting insight. Let's shift gears for a minute, y'all. Let's shift gears to Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 40 this April in Philadelphia. Now, obviously, Becky Lynch, she's earned this shot at the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania against Rhea Ripley by winning the Women's Elimination Chamber match. You go back last summer, there was a video, there might have been a few, that I did about the direction of Becky Lynch and how I was not a fan of what they were doing with Becky Lynch. I thought it was a mistake. I thought they were trying to make her a less than ripoff of Seth Rollins, her husband, with the over-the-top heel gimmick, as The Rock likes to say, a walking emoji type character. I just didn't think that fit Becky Lynch, because if you go back to her independent days, you go back to her NXT days, or even her early main roster days, you look at her character and it's all over the board, and you can tell, and she's admitted this publicly, whether that be in her book or her documentary or interviews, that she was really lost, and she simply just did not have the right character in place for her. And it wasn't until, 2018, that summer, that feud with Charlotte, ultimately getting punched in the face, broken orbital bone, concussion thanks to Nia Jax on a Monday Night Raw event, nixing plans for her to face Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series that year. Charlotte Flair gets into there, and then they're off to the races. Obviously, WrestleMania 35 in 2019, where they headlined the show and she won the title and everything like that. That was such a pivotal time for her. But finally, they got her back to a character in which she is over with the fan base. That man character is over. That is what got Becky Lynch over to the point that she is today. And for whatever reason, they felt like they had to evolve the character. Clearly, they did not learn from Steve Austin in 2001 when he decided that he was going to change his character and go heel and all that other stuff. Like, it just wasn't going to work. And credit to Triple H, he pivoted away from the booking decisions in which Vince McMahon already had in place regarding Becky Lynch and has shifted things. My point to all this is Becky Lynch will dethrone Rhea Ripley as women's champion at WrestleMania. It will happen. It's not something up to debate, right? Rhea has been champion for a year, basically. It's time for a new champion. I understand that, but what a job she's done as champion. Something in which I think she should be praised for. I really, really do.